Hey, what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and yes, I am bringing you my Sony E3 2014 press conference wrap-up overview, whatever you want to call it. I'm doing this right after the Microsoft one, so I've had about a 10-minute break or so, but what I've done, in case you don't know, normally every year I kind of do these really just throw up, no edit, whatever it is, kind of overviews. I take notes during the conferences, E3 every year, and then I go over them and everything. These ones are coming out a little later because I am not actively watching them as they're coming out. I have to catch up on them, except for the Sony one, which, by the way, the Sony one, there were like 2 trailers that I kind of missed, but I caught glimpses of here and there because of the streaming issues. The streaming this year has been so bad. First off, my connection is a lot worse than, it is at home. But second, not only that, first off, they did it on Ustream. I hate Ustream. Then they did it over on GameSpot. GameSpot kept hiccuping every few seconds. Then I tried watching it on the PlayStation 4. You have to download the E3 app, and then guess what? You go to the E3 app, you go through the tutorial, and then you go and check the live stream, and guess what? In the app, which you spend about 300 megabytes downloading, which for me is about a decent amount of time because of this connection that I'm working on now while I'm at my internship, you download the app, and then you go say, I want to watch the stream. And when you go to the stream, it takes you to Ustream. Sony, you got to get this together. Like, Ustream is just, it's not that good. Just, why couldn't it be on Twitch? It could have been on Twitch just as easily, but it might have been. I don't know. I know they put it up later, but we'll see what it is. Anyways, first off, let's go ahead and talk about this conference. So I'm just going to be going in, covering the games that I saw and everything like that, and then we're going to be really kind of discussing them a little bit. And if you all have anything to add, go ahead. But I also decided to wear my Mordecai hat and a blue shirt because, look, PlayStation is blue. Want to be festive with the PlayStation stuff. Now, first off, why were there so many Macs, MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros? Why were there so many Macs in the audience? I want to know. This is a Sony conference, and everyone up at the front had MacBooks. Not really related, but this is also the last thing I'm going to say before the conference started, because we got a friend and I, we were watching it together while in Skype, but we saw a little bit of the preview stuff, like the stuff that came before, and Killzone Shadowfall, there's going to be a new one coming out. I don't like Killzone. Killzone Shadowfall put me to sleep. Anyways, let's talk about the conference. So first off, Sony did an amazing job with the stage. They were just going, just look at the stage, but they went all out. Like, first off, they had, now I understand what it is, actually. This thing right here, you can't really see it because I have the light on here and all that, but this thing right here, like the PlayStation light bar and all that, the light bar sensor, the light bar sensor, it was the shape of that pretty much for the main screen of the stage, and they had 3 huge but smaller screens underneath that. So they had that going on for the first part, which was awesome. They showed, the intros and everything. And the first game they showed, I was just like, I was trying to figure out what it was. And my friend and I were talking about it, and they ended up calling it, and I'm just like, no, there's no way this is it. But then once it started looking more and more like Halo, I'm like, okay, this is it. And Destiny was the first game that they announced, and they're showing it, and it looks good. I've seen it before at E3. I have it. Yeah, I do have it pre-ordered. I have it pre-ordered. I'm definitely going to be giving it a try, like a fair chance. Actually, wait, no, I don't think I do. I think I just have it on GameFly. Because right now, I think I'm leaning more towards the PS4 version, but I am torn because most of my friends on the Xbox One, and the system I will probably play multiplayer on, which I do want to play multiplayer for this game, will be on the Xbox One. On the PlayStation 4, it does have exclusive content, and it is going to probably be better on the PS4. So I'm very torn right now. But worst comes to worst, if more people I know are going to be playing it on the Xbox One, I'll probably play it on there, because the game looks a lot like Halo combined with Borderlands, and I hate playing Borderlands alone. I am willing to take that risk. Some people might be asking, Mario, why don't you just wait for the PC copy to come out? I would rather play the game on launch. If I can, to be honest. I would rather just play the game on launch, and I'll probably play the PC version later, but, we'll just downgrade for a little bit at least. We'll be okay. It looks awesome, but it looks like Halo, which kind of, to me, shows that Bungie is comfortable where they are. They make Marathon, they make Halo, they made Halo, and now they're making Destiny, which is heavily, as I said, it is pretty much take Borderlands, slap it onto Halo. That's Destiny. That's what it looks like. When I play the game, my opinion might change, but from the gameplay I've seen, from the concept art, from everything like that, that's exactly what it looks like to me. Even a friend today, he asked me, if you could choose one game to compare to Destiny, like, say it looks like this game, what would you say? And I was just like, honestly, it's a toss-up between Borderlands and Halo. It just looks like if they had a baby, that's what Destiny is. So next up, they had The Order and they had Entwined. These games looked good, but I'll be honest, here my stream stopped. So I had to spend about 5 or 10 minutes figuring out all this stuff and watching a laggy stream if I could and trying to connect. So the little bit of The Order I saw did look good. And the little bit of Entwined I saw also looked good. But I am sorry, you all, there's not much I can say about them. The Order, I'm definitely going to give that a shot when it comes out. It's going to be a new original IP by Sony. Looks like something interesting. Will I play it again after I finish it once? Probably not, especially since it doesn't have multiplayer or co-op from what I've heard. But it does look like a good game nonetheless, so we'll see how it is. Infamous Second Son. Now this is unique. They're going to be having DLC for Infamous Second Son, which I played through the game. I made a video, one video on it actually, and I said that the game made me sleepy because of I think it was like the color palette, the way they set it up. Just watch that video if you want to. Just called like Infamous Second Son Makes Me Sleepy. But they're releasing DLC for it. Not that big of a deal, right? Exclusive game, sold well, new DLC. Well, here's the thing. It's actually going to be standalone DLC as well. So that means, which thinking about it, I mean, Dead Rising has done before, but still, with the standalone DLC, if you don't own the game, which I myself, I don't because I rented it, I didn't really feel like it was worth a purchase, but I felt like it was worth a playthrough. I played through it, I finished it, I returned it. That was the end of the story for me. With this, you can go and buy the DLC for it and play it standalone as is, which it is fetch. It is called, what is it called? I'm looking here, by the way, because I wrote everything on here, because you can't expect me to remember 2 hours worth of stuff. But it's called First Light, and it is all about Fetch, and it looks great. And I love Fetch. She was one of my favorite characters. I loved all the characters in the game, actually. The game, you know, I had some issues with it here and there, but the characters I loved. I didn't see an issue with them. But it's about Fetch. Now, if you download it, you can play it standalone, so you do not need the game. But if you have the game, you do get a few extra perks. So I'll probably get the DLC and then just rent the game so I get the perks and everything. But I can still have the standalone DLC, which would be nice. But we'll see how it is when it comes out. So far, it looks promising. I'm excited about it. Next up, we had Little Big Planet 3. These guys could not play the game. The people that were demoing it could not play the game. Now, probably I would do just as bad as them, but the reason why I'm critical is because this is your game that you're premiering to the world for the first time. You gotta know how to play it. But it does look like a good game. Looks about the same as the other ones. I mean, it's not going to be super demanding in the graphics department or anything, but it does look like it's going to be loads of fun because it's Little Big Planet. It's a big game. It's not... What am I trying to say? It's a big game, and you can just pretty much do anything you want to with it. It's a 2D, build-it-yourself game. Do whatever the hell you want to. And also, there are a lot of new characters in the game, which look fantastic, and I want to play as all of them. So, Little Big Planet 3, it looks fun. I'm totally playing as Oddsock when that comes out, though. Now, Bloodborne. This looks really good. It looks kind of like I'm anticipating it's just going to be an easier version of Dark Souls. It's not going to be... It's going to be more story-based and not really pull your hair out like I'm raging. But it's definitely going to be very, very dark. And at first I thought this was a Miyazaki game because the guy who's making it, his last name is Miyazaki. And I was thinking like Hayao Miyazaki. I think Hayao... butchering his name, but the guy who does the awesome anime, he did Totoro, he did Spirited Away, all that. First I thought it was him, and my friend and I were talking, we're just like, there's no way this is him. He's depressed or something if this is his game. But then I found out today I got the names wrong, and I immediately texted my friend, I'm just like, you know, I'm so happy, but I got it wrong. It's a different Miyazaki, not the one we're thinking of. Because that would have been sad if it was him, I'm not gonna lie. But, anyways, it's by From Software. New game from them. It looks interesting, and I believe it is also an exclusive on the PS4, so I'll definitely give that a shot as well once it's out. Now, next up, they had Far Cry 4, and the game looks awesome. I would say that the game looks awesome, the game looks fun, but two things. One, the smoke is terrible on it, the smoke effects look disgusting, and two, it's by Ubisoft, so because I said it looks awesome, I might have to take that back in a few months or a year whenever the game is out. Because as we all know, Ubisoft likes to over-deliver and then they downgrade when the games come out, as proved by Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. Yeah, Watch Dogs was the last one. Pretty much every game they've put out, that's happened, so I'm losing my faith in Ubisoft. I'm just throwing that out there, and I talked about it a little bit in my Xbox One Microsoft overview, but it's all good. Anyways, probably my favorite part as well, all the animals they had. They had a bunch of elephants there. They had one point, this is probably the funniest point, but at one point, there was just a bird that swoops in and just steals a goat, like a full-size goat. Just scoops it up like it's nothing. I was just cracking up during that part. But, oh, also one thing I was laughing at as well. At one point, this guy just takes some C4, puts it on a barrel. I believe it's C4, but he puts it on a barrel, just throws it right next to a person, blows it up. Guy dies. I thought that was funny. I was laughing at that part. Then after that, at first I thought this was going to be Dying Light, but it wasn't. It was by Deep Silver, but it was actually Dead Island 2, which, if it's better than the first Dead Island, I'll play, but the first Dead Island, I'm literally like, I'm not kidding you all, I'm like 95, if not 98% done with that game, and I didn't finish it. The last 10% of the game, I lost interest completely in it. The game was supposed to be really good, and then it was just kind of lackluster, and then it somehow got Dead Island Riptide, which was the sequel DLC standalone thingy, and that was, like, Riptide was so bad. It was such a bad game. I don't know what happened, but someone I saw, they were talking about this, and they put it the best. They said, you want to say bad games don't get sequels? Here you go. Meet Dead Island 2. Because Dead Island 2, I really wanted it to be good. It just, it fell short of, I didn't even have high expectations for it. But it fell way short of my expectations. It was clunky, it was kind of boring, it just, I don't know, it was missing something. I was expecting it to be Borderlands with nothing but zombies, and, I mean, that's kind of what they were trying to do, but kind of failed at it. I don't know. I guess not really, though, because they had enough money to make an expansion and then a sequel, so we'll see. But the trailer was hilarious. I thought that was great, but after that, then, they talked about Diablo 3. Now, they're going to be, because as you know, they were talking about Diablo 3 before. They were saying that the PS4 was going to get Diablo 3. Now they are releasing Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls, which is the new expansion, in case you don't know. And in the corner of the box art, they say, as a bonus, you also get Diablo 3, the full game on top of this. So, pretty much in short, you are getting Diablo 3 with the new expansion, which my roommate has the expansion, and he says it is fantastic. So, I'll definitely be giving it a shot. Along with Loot 2.0, we'll go ahead and try it out. But it's been a while since I played Diablo 3. Last time I played, actually, no, I'm talking about the PC version. But the last time I played it was about a week and a half ago. I was playing it with one of my roommates on the 360. I was playing it on console because I hate that DRM so much, and we could just sit on the couch and play co-op that way. So it worked out very well, and it plays amazing on a controller, so I cannot wait to play it on the PS4. I'm not supporting it on PC anymore. That is one of the few games I will say is superior on consoles compared to PC. Next up, Battlefield Hardline. It looks fun, but I'm just not into Battlefield as my thing, so I feel like if I actually play it, I'll just be kind of, alright, it's Battlefield, yay. That'll kind of be my reaction to it, but, you know, what can we do? I applied for the beta. I might have gotten in. I haven't checked my email yet, but I applied for the PC beta. If you're on PC or PS4, you can get a beta. If you're on any other console, including the Xbox One, wait for the retail game, I guess. Or they might do another open beta. I don't really know, but I just know you can apply for PS4 and Xbox One right now. So Sony, EA, kind of like this at the moment. Now, next up, they talked briefly about Disney Infinity. I guess they're bringing that over to the systems. For any parents on here, or like myself, older siblings, don't get this game. I don't advise it, because it is some of the most expensive physical DLC ever, based on my Skylanders experience. But let's go on to something else. With Destiny, they brought up the exclusives and all that, so they brought that in a little bit. I mean, they brought up here and there, they're pretty much saying there's gonna be, you know, exclusive DLC, exclusive modes here and there. I'm not 100% sure about the modes, to be honest. I don't know, I might be paraphrasing on there. In short, there's exclusive Sony things that are going to be on the PS4 I don't know about the PS3. I didn't hear anything about that. But PS4 is going to have some exclusive stuff, which is confirmed. So that's why I'm kind of leaning on the PS4 version. So, friends, come on, just get a PS4 and Destiny so we can play together, because I want to play that extra content. Anyways, next up, they had Paradox Interactive come out, and they showed Magicka 2, which the trailer was hilarious, it was fantastic, and the game looks awesome. I've only seen the first one, never played it unfortunately, because in case you all don't know, wasn't really into the PS3 last generation, but it does look great for what it is. Then after that, they had, several notes from fans and all that while all this was going on, and one of the best ones, they had this kid's note, and it was something along the lines of, it was beautiful, and then just turns funny at the end. It was just something along the lines of, I'm a 12-year-old girl, and my issue with video games is that some of the best video games ever made came out before I was born. I want to play some of these games, but I can't, and if I want to play them, I have to pirate them, which is bad. And then it goes into all this other stuff, and it's actually another boy, and he's actually 10 years old, and then it turns out it's actually Tim Schafer, and this leads into the announcement of Grim Fandango coming back. So that is going to be coming out. Looks great. I think I played it a while ago, like a long time ago, but I can't wait to get my hands on this. So that's going to be on PS4 as well. Then they showed a ton of indie games. One of them, Let It Die. Let It Die, that was another game I was thinking of. There was one game that was kind of similar to it in the indie section, but the one that popped out to me that was indie for sure was Hotline Miami Wrong Number. I played a little bit of Hotline Miami. I'm maybe like an hour into it on the PS Vita, and it is a difficult game. On the Vita, at least, it is a difficult game, but it is addictive. I don't know what they did to it, but it is just like crack in your hands. But Let It Die, this game, it's pretty much a deathmatch only game, and I don't want to say it looks good. It looks good, but the reason why I don't want to say it is because there was no gameplay footage of it. It was all, in real life, people footage thrown into a video game. My friend was laughing at this, but I said this pretty much looks like Freddy Wong, the video game. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like starting over my words. I just got off work, okay? And I just did another video, so forgive me on that. But yeah, they had that. Then after Let It Die, they had this game called Giant Squid. Giant Squid, I'll say this. Like, the one way I can explain it is the game looks beautiful. It just... Man. It looks beautiful. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Next up, they had No Man's Sky, which, like, they lead off with another beautiful looking game. And at first, my friend was saying, they're all like, what is this supposed to be a Minecraft killer or what? Because it kind of does look like a Minecraft killer. But it's like a little bit of everything. It's kind of like, it looks like Minecraft at first, got a lot better and all that. Then you could fly around, you could do all this crazy stuff. It just looks super fun, and I definitely want to play. And I'm pretty sure most of these games are PS4 exclusive. So I'm very happy I own a PS4, as you can see in the back here. But then after that, they talked about the features. They start talking about the PlayStation camera, and they're saying, games are going to be using it, it's going to be innovative and all that. Look, I'll be honest, I have the Kinect. I'm liking the Kinect for what it is, but honestly, if it didn't come with the Xbox One, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. Sony bundled the camera with the PS4 separately, and I've had several chances to buy a PlayStation camera. The problem is, I'm not seeing a need to pay $60 for this camera. I mean, there's Playroom, but I'm not interested in that. Sony, show me why I should spend $60 on your camera, and I'll get it. But until then, I'm not getting it. Now, they were talking about the PlayStation camera, bringing in new features. Then they're now talking about YouTube coming to PSN. So that means, grab my controller here. As you can see right here, if you hit the share button, you could upload photos, you could put them on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Ustream, do whatever you want to do on those. They're now adding YouTube in, which YouTube is already on the Xbox One, but now they're going to be putting it on the PlayStation 4, which is nice. Now, I don't know, how much this is going to be flooding the video game market on YouTube. There were actually some people before these next-gen systems were coming out, they were saying that they feel like there might almost be a YouTube video game crash with these new systems coming out. I don't think that's going to happen personally, but I think it's just nice that that's available because YouTube is a viable platform for uploading your video game footage. And I don't mean that money-wise either. It's there, it's convenient. Twitch would be lovely. The problem is Twitch recording is broken half the time. at least when I try and use it. Next up, they're talking about all these games that are free to play. They're bringing Loadout, which is really nice. They're going to be bringing a ton of free to play games. They're going to have an open beta for PlayStation Now. In case you don't know, PlayStation Now is going to be a video game streaming service where you can go online and you could pick a game where you don't even need a PS4. You can do it on a phone, a PS3, a PS4, a Sony Smart TV, as long as you have a controller, at least a DualShock 3. I don't know, I haven't heard anything about the DualShock 4, but if you have a DualShock 3, you can pretty much connect and then essentially use your screen to use screen grabs, kind of the equivalent of remote desktop, except your TV, your device is not doing any of the processing. As long as you have a strong enough internet connection, some server way out over there is going to do all the game processing for you, and it's going to transfer, you know, what buttons you're pressing and all that, and what actions happen over there, and project them onto your screen. Very cool, but you need a good connection to do that. Just throwing that out there. Next up, they briefly, very, very briefly, when I'm talking about briefly, it was on there for just like 30 seconds maybe, they talked about Tales from the Borderlands. They pretty much said, it's coming out. It's coming out on the Vita. I'm happy I have a Vita as well. Very excited for that. I'm definitely going to try it. And it is the Borderlands game because there's a few games that are coming out. There's going to be, of course, Borderlands, the pre-sequel, which is going to come out on PC, 360, and PS3. And then there's going to be Tales from the Borderlands, which I believe is Vita exclusive. Correct me if I'm wrong on there. Or it might just be on the Vita, I really don't know. But it's going to be coming out on the Vita at least, and it's going to be a Telltale Games Borderlands game, which I'm excited for. Next up then, they talked about the PlayStation TV, which I'm happy, and I was excited that they talked about this. In case you don't know, the PlayStation TV is just this little box about this big. In the back, it has a PlayStation Vita card slot. It has a USB port, an HDMI port, and an Ethernet port. It's going to go for $100. It's already out in Japan, but essentially, this is kind of a portable Vita, well, not a non-portable Vita, and it's going to be $100. You just need a DualShock 3. Pretend this is a DualShock 3. And I believe there's going to be another bundle coming out for like $140, $150, which is going to have the PlayStation TV, the Lego Movie video game for Vita, an 8GB, I want to say it was an 8GB Vita card, and an HDMI cable. My friend I was talking to, actually, they were saying they are going to get this just so they could play their Vita games and all that, because they don't even own a Vita. They're just saying, no, I just want to play these on my TV. I don't want to play them to go or anything. And I'm debating if I want to get it or not. But it's mostly going to be utilizing PlayStation Now. So, very exciting for that, and I feel like that's going to be opening up a lot of doors for Sony, but at the same time, there are going to be people who are going to think that that little box does everything, and they're not going to realize that they have to have a good internet connection to do all of that. So I'm a little bit leery of it. It's kind of like, the best way of putting it is it's kind of like the PlayStation version of the Chromecast, in case you don't know. So that is kind of how I look at it, at least. Next up, they talked about Mortal Kombat 10. They showed footage for it. Game looks brutal. Game looks fantastic. I love it. They were talking about this new game, Powers, that's coming out. That's going to be a new, like, original type superhero-related game. That looks exciting as well, although we really didn't see anything of it, so we're kind of going on word of what people are saying. But then I was really excited for this. It wasn't even a video game, but I was excited about it. They are going to be making a Ratchet and Clank movie. You have no idea how excited I am for this. They showed the trailer. The trailer looks so good. The trailer looks good. I cannot wait for this movie. I'm going to the theater to see it. I'm going to the theater to see it. I might even go multiple times because I might take my brothers to see it because I'll be like, you know what? No, you need to learn about PlayStation stuff. Here you go. But the movie looks great, and it's pretty much just going to be the first game in movie form, which looks fantastic. And funny thing as well, with this being, you know, related to HD remakes, remasters, things like that, the trailer, I'm sure, looks a lot better than the original game. But looking at that trailer, it didn't to me, because it looked to me like how the game looked when I played it, you know, almost a decade ago. That's just how it is. Like, even that happened with Halo 2. I know I'm bringing Microsoft into this, but with the Halo 2 anniversary, there was actually a Imager link I found online, and it had comparisons between Halo 2, the original, and Halo 2 Anniversary. And when you see the anniversary screenshots, you're like, oh, yeah. For anyone that's played Halo 2, you're just like, oh, yeah, you know, that looks about it. Why is this a remake? It doesn't look that bad. Then you see the original Halo 2 screenshot, and you're like, oh, my God. That was all in my memory. So that's how nostalgia works, but I can't wait to see this film. It's coming out the first half of 2015. After that, speaking of remasters, they then had The Last of Us remastered. Wasn't huge into Last of Us, not gonna lie. But it looks great. They did an excellent job with the trailer. Then they had the leaked Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pains trailer, which looks fantastic. And actually, they made a little joke about it. They're just like, well, some of you, they pretty much said, we're gonna be showing you a trailer for a game that you all been waiting for, and some of you might have seen it last night. And then everyone starts like laughing in the audience, and the guy is just like, he's trying to stifle his laugh, and he's like, okay, here's Metal Gear Solid 5. Looks amazing. Next up, I was surprised that they did this, but they had Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out. It's going to be coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I'm super excited for that. Like, awesome. Awesome. I cannot believe that's... I didn't expect it to happen. I really didn't. But it's happening. By the way, for people asking what I'm going to get on, I'm probably just going to get it on PC, because I would love to toy around with it on there, and I want to kill my processor and video card with it. Not literally, because I still need them, but still. Finally, the last thing, well, one of the last things they did, I keep thinking this is the last thing, because it went on for so long. But they had Batman Arkham Knight. The Batman games are good, but it looks about the same as the other ones. But that's probably because it's by Rocksteady now, and not the team that did Arkham Origins, thankfully. But looks like a good game. And they actually trolled at one point, made it look like the connection was going off and everything. Then Scarecrow came on. I would love to go to an actual conference. I really would, because I'm sure it's a complete... I'm sure, you know, going to an E3 conference... I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'm sure going to an E3 conference is a lot like watching a bunch of videos of your favorite band play live, and then you finally see them live for the first time. I'm sure that's how E3 is. But Arkham Knight looks great. This was the last thing. The last thing. They didn't show any gameplay of it, but Uncharted 4. They showed that. It's announced. It's going to come out at one point. And this also means, this is very significant, but this also means that Naughty Dog is now breaking the tradition of the 3-game, 1 go-kart. The 3 regular game, 1 go-kart series thing. My roommate and I talked about it earlier today, but look at Crash Bandicoot. Crash 1, 2, 3, and then Crash Team Racing. Jak and Daxter, Jak 2, Jak 3, Jak X Combat Racing. Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So, congratulations to Naughty Dog for breaking tradition, I guess, on that. But I really want to see an Uncharted Combat Racing if we can. Who knows? Anyways, after that, they had the wrap-up videos, and that was about it. But what do I think of the Sony conference? Well, judging from how I'm talking about this conference, and probably from your perspective, if you watch the Microsoft wrap-up that I've already done, if it's uploaded, thankfully, this conference, if you watch it, it's one of those things, it's like, I feel like the Microsoft conferences, they're more like, yeah, it was a bar joke, you had to be there to experience it. With the Sony conferences, I'll be honest, Sony conferences are normally more boring than the Microsoft ones. Microsoft brings hype, but then afterwards, it's kind of like, that was alright. Sony conferences, they're kind of boring to watch, except for last year's because of all the next-gen drama stuff. But they had awesome games. I will say, like, looking at this list, Sony had better games. That's it. I'm going to talk about this later, but for now, I guess people are going to fight in the comments. But so far, my opinion, before watching the Nintendo Direct, Microsoft had a better conference. Sony had better games. The conference is cool, but when it comes down to it, I'm not going to be playing conferences. I'm going to be playing video games. So I think I'll take the boring conference any day, as long as it has better games. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thank you for watching, everyone, and hopefully this gets out to you in a timely manner. Anyways, y'all have a good day, or night, wherever you're from.